Fire safety awareness. Fire safety is a shared duty, and the choices you make can affect not just your own safety, but also that of your co-workers and anyone visiting your location. It is important to stay vigilant and take the necessary precautions to prevent fire hazards. Join us in raising fire safety awareness and expanding knowledge as we learn 1. How fires start and spread. 2. Precautions that we can take to reduce the risk of fire. 3. Things we need to do in the event of a fire. The letter sent by Sir David Behan, CEO of the Care Quality Commission, CQC, in June 2017, addressed key concerns regarding fire safety in care homes or care providers following the Grenfell Tower fire. It emphasized the importance of fire risk assessments, proper evacuation procedures, and staff training to ensure the safety of residents, particularly those who may be vulnerable. The letter urged care providers to review their fire safety policies and work with local fire services to maintain compliance with safety regulations. The key concerns highlighted in the June 2017 CQC letter from Sir David Behan included: Number 1. Fire risk assessments. Providers were urged to ensure that their fire risk assessments were current and comprehensive, accurately reflecting the specific risks associated with their care environments. Number 2. Evacuation plans. The letter stressed the necessity of having effective evacuation procedures tailored to the needs of all residents, particularly those with mobility challenges or cognitive impairments. Number 3. Staff training. Emphasis was placed on the importance of regular and thorough fire safety training for all staff members, ensuring they are well prepared to respond swiftly and effectively in the event of a fire. Number 4. Building safety compliance. Providers were reminded to verify that their facilities met all relevant fire safety standards, including the proper maintenance of fire doors, alarms, and clear escape routes. Number 5. Collaboration with fire services. The letter encouraged care providers to actively engage with local fire authorities, seeking their expertise to assess and enhance existing fire safety measures. Number 6. Review of cladding and materials. In light of the concerns raised by the Grenfell incident, providers were advised to inspect their buildings for potentially hazardous cladding materials and take appropriate remedial actions if necessary. Number 7. Fire drills and emergency procedures. Regular fire drills were advocated to test the effectiveness of evacuation plans and to ensure that both staff and residents are familiar with emergency procedures. And 8. Accountability and oversight. The letter underscored the responsibility of senior management to prioritize fire safety, ensuring robust oversight and adherence to all pertinent regulations. To ensure a safe environment for everyone, it is essential to understand and follow key fire safety measures. The following areas are critical for effective fire prevention and emergency response: safety signs and fire exits, storage of hazardous and flammable chemicals, fire alarm systems and fire equipment, fire safety equipment training, and safety training and responsibilities. How fires start. A fire requires 3 essential elements to ignite: fuel, oxygen, and heat. When these elements come together, they trigger a chain reaction that sustains the fire. Fuel refers to any flammable or combustible material that can sustain a fire. This includes substances such as paper, wood, chemicals, and oils. Heat is an ignition source that can initiate combustion. It may come from a spark, accumulated heat from a heater, intense sunlight, chemical reactions, or friction. When oxygen is added to the fuel and heat mix, fire takes hold, and when present in sufficient amounts, it allows the fire to grow and sustain itself. Certain items in the workplace pose a significant fire risk of combining these 3 key elements of fire. These include potential fuel sources, which include cleaning products, plastics, curtains, general waste, and packaging. We also have electrical equipments, hot surfaces, display lighting, and static electricity as potential sources of ignition. It is essential to be aware of potential fuel and ignition sources in your care environment to minimize fire risks and enhance safety. We have conducted a detailed exploration of the different elements that can lead to the starting fire, including potential fuel sources, ignition, and the conditions that allow a fire to sustain itself. Now discussing how we can reducing the risk of fire. Reducing the risk of fire. You can minimize the risk of fire in your workplace by using common sense principles, applying training procedures, reporting faulty equipment, and maintaining good housekeeping practices. Now, let's examine some potential fire hazards commonly found in a care home and explore practical solutions to mitigate these risks and prevent fires. For number 1, we have the toaster near window kitchen curtains, which can catch fire if they come into contact with the toaster's heat. The solution is to keep the toaster away from flammable materials like curtains or paper towels. Oil next to hob. Oil should be tidied away in the cupboard to ensure it is kept away from any sources of ignition. An overflowing bin is a hazard and should be emptied immediately. Pan handles sticking out can be knocked over and can cause burns or a fire. Always turn pan handles inward to prevent accidental spills. Clothing near the hob should be hung up away from any sources of ignition. Boxes are potential fire hazards and should be tidied away properly. Plug socket and inspection of electrical installations. That's right, an overloaded plug socket is a fire hazard. Avoid overloading plug sockets by using one plug per outlet whenever possible. If multiple devices need to be plugged in, use a surge-protected extension lead and ensure the total wattage does not exceed the socket's capacity. Also, regular inspection and checks should be conducted on electrical installations and electrical equipment to prevent them from becoming fire hazards. Unattended candles. Candles can easily ignite nearby objects if left unattended. Never leave burning candles unattended and place them on heat-resistant surfaces away from flammable materials. Portable heaters near furniture. Placing heaters too close to furniture or curtains can cause a fire. Keep heaters at least 1 meter away from flammable objects and never leave them on unattended. Some additional fire precaution measures for the workplace include keeping quantities of fuels stored to a minimum, replacing highly flammable materials or substances with the less flammable, having suitable fire-resistant storage outdoors for larger quantities of fuels, taking steps to avoid arson and ensuring suitable security measures in place to prevent vandalization. Prevent the use of and report any item that you believe is unsafe. Reducing the damage caused by fire refers to the steps and actions taken to minimize the destruction and harm of fire. Being inside a building during a fire can be a stressful and urgent situation. Recognizing different fire safety signs is crucial, as quick action is essential in an emergency. Also, clear and visible signage plays a key role in ensuring fire safety, as fire signs and notices are used to help people identify the following: escape routes, current location, and the direction they should head for. Mandatory safety instructions to be adhered to, fire doors, final exit doors, location of firefighting equipment, location of manual call points, and location of evacuation assembly points. Key factors that can help to reduce the damage the fire causes include early detection, fire containment, clear escape plan, and safety measures. Early detection. The best way to minimize fire damage and ensure early warning for a safe escape is through early detection. While a fire can be discovered by entering a room and manually raising the alarm, a more effective approach is using smoke and heat detectors as fire alarm systems. Also, if you detect or discover a fire, promptly activate the alarm following the fire emergency plan specific to your workplace. You can do this by operating a manual call point or raising a verbal alarm. It is always important that you ensure that you are familiar with the fire emergency plan for the premises you work in. In respect of these, manual call points, smoke and heat detectors, and alarm sounders must be strategically positioned throughout the premises to ensure effective fire detection and alerting. Also, regular maintenance and testing of these equipments are essential to ensure its reliability and all staff trained on how to properly raise the alarm in the event of an emergency. Fire containment. Fire containment refers to the process of limiting the spread of fire within a building or area to reduce damage and enhance safety. This is achieved through use of fire-resistant materials, compartmentalization, fire doors, sprinkler systems, and proper ventilation control. Effective fire containment helps protect occupants, property, and emergency responders by slowing the fire's progression and allowing more time for evacuation and firefighting efforts. Some of the fire containment efforts that can be done to help prevent a fire from spreading include ensuring that waste doesn't accumulate, as this could help the fire spread. Proper installation of approved fire doors, which should be clearly labelled. All fire doors must be kept closed, unless they have automatic mechanisms that release on alarm installed. Other fire containment measures that can be done before a fire starts include reporting any fire door defects, including doors that do not close properly or fully, cracked or broken glazing, damage to the door or its frame, worn or damaged intumescent seals, which prevent smoke from passing through gaps, and always ensure that fire doors remain closed to maintain their effectiveness. How to prepare for a fire. The top priority during a fire is ensuring that everyone inside the building can evacuate safely. The most effective way to achieve this is by having a well-prepared escape plan in place. An escape plan is a pre-arranged strategy outlining the safest and quickest way to exit a building in the event of a fire or other emergencies. A well-structured escape plan helps minimize confusion and enhances safety during an emergency. To enhance preparedness and safety, a documented emergency plan must always be in place, providing clear guidance for all occupants. This includes designated exit routes, means of raising alarms, assembly points, and procedures to ensure a safe evacuation. It should also include details of those with responsibilities in an emergency, for example, trained fire marshals, and should also factor in vulnerable persons who cannot leave the building unaided. There should be a sufficient number of escape routes to ensure a quick evacuation from the premises. Escape routes should have signs to signal exit doors and location of firefighting equipment. Also, doors on escape routes should not be fitted with locking devices. What to do when evacuating. In the event of a fire, you must follow the instructions given in your fire emergency plan. These normally involve 5 clear instructions. 1. Turn off any equipment where safe to do so. 2. Calmly but quickly evacuate the premises via the nearest available exit. 3. Close windows and doors as you leave a room. 4. Go to the designated assembly point. 5. Inform the fire marshal if anyone is missing, including visitors. Note that, in the event of a fire, windows and doors should be closed as you leave the room. Feel the front door with the back of your hand, and before opening a door, try assessing the door handle for heat. If the door or handle is hot to touch, then do not open it. Also ensure that you do not make use of the lift or stop to collect personal possessions, and never go back into the building unless you have been told it is safe to do so. Tackling a fire. While following the escape plan and evacuating is typically the priority, there may be situations where you need to extinguish a fire. This could include discovering a small manageable fire before it spreads, or encountering a fire blocking your exit. When to tackle a fire. The following are questions to consider when faced with a fire. Is the fire in its very early stages? Is the fire smaller than you? Is the room clear of smoke? Do you and others have a clear exit? If not, is there fire between you and your only exit? Do you have training on how to use fire extinguishers? Do you have the correct equipment? Do you feel confident to tackle the fire? Is there a safe position from which you can tackle the fire? If the answer is a no to these questions, with high priority to the ones with the warning signs, then get out, raise the alarm, and call the fire service. Classification of fire. It is essential to understand that fires are classified based on the type of fuel they burn. Recognizing these classifications is crucial for selecting the appropriate extinguishing method. Using the wrong approach, such as attempting to extinguish an electrical fire with water, can worsen the situation and increase the risk of harm. We have Class A fires, which are fires fueled by organic solids, such as paper, wood, and cardboard, and are common in environments such as offices, schools, and retail spaces. These materials can ignite easily and contribute to fire spread if not properly managed. They are best extinguished using water, foam, or dry chemical fire extinguishers. Class fire. A Class B fire involves flammable liquids such as gasoline, oil, paint, acetone, ethanol, petrol, solvents, and waxes. These fires can spread rapidly and should never be extinguished with water, as it can cause the flames to spread. The most effective extinguishing methods include using foam, dry powder, or carbon dioxide fire extinguishers to smother the fire and cut off the oxygen supply. Places where Class B fires are common included factories, warehouses, and food preparation facilities. A Class C fire involves flammable gases such as propane, butane, methane, and hydrogen. Fires here are fueled by natural gas, liquid petroleum gas, and industrial gases. These fires can be highly dangerous due to the risk of explosion. The recommended approach is to shut off the gas supply if it is safe to do so, and then use a dry powder fire extinguisher to suppress the flames. Water and foam should not be used, as they can be ineffective or increase the hazard. Class C fires occur in environments such as chemical plants and industrial warehouses. Class D. A Class D fires has to do with fires fueled by metals or powdered metals. It involves combustible metals such as magnesium, titanium, lithium, potassium, and sodium. These fires are highly dangerous because they burn at extremely high temperatures and can react violently with water or standard fire extinguishing agents. The proper way to extinguish a Class D fire is by using a dry powder fire extinguisher, specifically designed for metal fires, which works by smothering the flames and absorbing heat. Class D fires can start in premises where manufacturing processes cut, drill, or mill metals. Class E fires refer to electrical fires involving electrical equipment such as wiring, circuit breakers, appliances, and machinery. While electricity itself does not burn, it can ignite surrounding materials and cause fires. To extinguish an electrical fire, it is crucial to first disconnect the power source if it is safe to do so. Suitable extinguishing agents include carbon dioxide extinguishers and dry powder extinguishers, as they do not conduct electricity. Water and foam must never be used, as they can cause electric shock or worsen the fire. Class F has to do with fires with extreme temperatures exceeding 360 degrees centigrade. These fires typically occur in deep fryers or pans and burn at extremely high temperatures, making them difficult to extinguish with conventional methods. This kind of fire occurs mainly due to negligence, such as leaving pans unattended and not cleaning oil or fat from surfaces. Here, water must never be used when extinguishing, as it can cause the fire to spread explosively. The safest way to extinguish a Class F fire is by using a wet chemical fire extinguisher, which cools the fire and forms a barrier to prevent reignition. Fire blankets can also be used to smother small cooking fires if applied correctly. In summary, water-based is to be used for Class A fires, which is fueled by substances such as paper, wood, and cardboard. Powder-based extinguishers can be said to be multi-purpose and is used for Class A, B, or C fires fueled by paper, wood, flammable liquids, and flammable gases. Also, it is suitable for electrical fires, where power has been isolated. Carbon dioxide-based extinguishers used for Class B fires, which are fueled by flammable liquids and electrical fires. Dry powder extinguishers are used for Class D fires, which are fueled by combustible metals such as lithium, magnesium, and aluminium dust. Foam extinguishers are for Class A and Class B fires fueled by paper, wood, and flammable liquids. Wet chemical extinguisher is used for Class A and Class F fires fueled by paper, cooking oils, and fats. Never attempt to operate firefighting equipment unless you have been trained to do so. Ensure that you are familiar with the emergency plan, the fire exits, and the assembly points. Stay vigilant and play your part in reducing the risk of fire. If you are a designated fire warden, additional training may be required. Please check with your manager for details on fire warden training. With that, we wrap this session and thank you for joining us. Please subscribe and like our content to provide feedback and motivate us to keep delivering high-quality content.